Hello guys, and we're back for another video on Go Doctor. You're watching Series 7 Part 1, which is Amy and Rory. We'll talk about that. And then on Wednesday the video should be out for Part 2 of Series 7 with Clara and Eleven. So yeah, let's just get into it really. We also, before this, they had a mini clip from Chris Chibnall. It's a little clip run of Amy and Rory and their life without the Doctor. And we have little sketches of the 11th Doctor getting up to mischief as well in them little series we had. By the end of that little clip of series, we have Amy and Rory splitting up, fighting over an argument, which later learns out, gets into the series. Starts us off with a series of Amy and Rory splitting up and signing divorce papers. Which later learns into, because Amy can't have kids, whatever they did to Demon's Run in Series 6, she can't have kids anymore, and she feels like letting Rory go is the best option so he can have kids with someone and make him happy. Obviously Rory would never leave Amy, so it's always been Amy and Rory, and that is a thing that will continue to happen. So we have that dynamic at the start of the series that leads into the series from the mini clips, and we have that going on, and the Daleks trying to basically summon the Doctor on Skaro with a message. He comes to it. It's a trap. They take him. Then they take Amy and Rory because obviously the Doctor has associates, and they bring them all to justice. And basically what they're there for is the asylum of the Daleks, the Emperor Dalek or the Prime Minister Dalek. Yeah, Prime Minister Dalek. What? There's a lot of weird dynamics with this Daleks, and yeah, it don't work to the best. I mean, it's not the best Dalek story, Asylum of the Daleks, but it does have something going, I guess. But anyway, they need help. The Predator, which is the Doctor, because the Doctor destroys so many Daleks every time he defeats them, so they call him the Predator. He's got too big now, and the Daleks are afraid to go down to this spaceship full of broken Daleks, and they can't kill it or blow it up because the button's inside. Button's inside place where you want to blow up. Yeah, so next up we have the Doctor having to fly down there. He doesn't want to, but I mean, he's going to get exterminated if he don't, so he has to do it. They fire him at a planet. It's just a nice little scene with Rory there, asking some questions that makes him look silly. We have Rory's really good in this. So I am not really been a fan of him until the Series 7, where he's got a lot more strength. He's like Mickey, you know, that bumbling, scared person, then grown by the end of the series into a strength and strong person with Mickey. Now we have that with Rory, but it's took 3 seasons to get there. And I really enjoy Rory in this series. I think he's done wonders, and he can put up with a lot, and yeah, he's a good one in this character development. Yeah, we have Amy, who is got a little bit different. She's in her makeup from her museum, her makeup from the modelling she's doing as well. So we have a little glimpse of what they're doing in the story life, really. Yeah, the Daleks are basically trying to get the Doctor onto his planet, so they fire him on. We later learn of Clara, the Impossible Girl, Oswin for the win, and yeah, she's basically just making souffles until we later learn she's actually a Dalek, and it's all in her head, and it's all a plot twist, and it's just basically trying to get to Clara and try and blow up the ship. That's all it is. Rory gets separated, we get that little moment, we get these little clips on their hands to stop them turning into human Daleks, and the ones that are human Daleks start chasing the Doctor, dead or alive. Yeah, there's not a lot going on, and yeah, I'm just going to say and end it here with, they find Clara. Amy stopped turning into a Dalek because the Doctor put it on her wrist, but got Amy and Clara back together, Amy and Rory back together by doing a situation and tricking them into staying together, really. And now they're back together again. They've sorted out their problems, which is all they needed. They needed a room and space to talk it out, and they did. So now they're back together again, Amy and Rory for the win, and Clara, which we later learn, Oswin, is actually a Dalek. Starts trying to threaten the Doctor, Then she controls herself and lets the Doctor escape. Not only that, wipes the Daleks from ever remembering the Doctor. So Doctor Who, they don't know anything, which is a bit weird because, you know, all that history he's had and it's wiped. I mean, yes, it's good for him, but as a reader of the show, it's not that good. 7 out of 10, yeah. Now we're on to Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, which is basically dinosaurs on a spaceship with robots, and David Bradley, of course, with his wonderful performance as an evil person. David Bradley's done a lot for Doctor Who. Obviously, he was the first Doctor. He also did Adventure into Space and Time, playing William Hartnell. He has also been this bad guy, and he's also been in Sarah Jane Adventures as the chicken people that were trying to kill the 11th Doctor in the Doctor's death or something like that from the Sarah Jane Adventures, with the 11th Doctor and Sarah Jane and Joe Grant, you know, that episode with 11th Doctor. So David Bradley's done a lot with the show, to be fair, which I think is brilliant, that he can do so much variety for the show, and of course he deserves to play William Hartnell because he can do a massive William Hartnell impression and do that so well. But anyway, just wanted to get that out there. Little credit to David Bradley there. But yeah, David Bradley's in this performance, yet again playing an evil character who's wounded. He's basically after his bounty. He wants to get some money together. He wants to be rich, and that's his own goal in the only thing he's after. And he's got onto this Silurian ship. He's given them a sob story, and then he's done something to the Silurians. He's whacked them out, and he's after the dinosaurs. That's all he was after, because they're worth a load and blah blah blah. He wants the money, basically, for these dinosaurs, and that's all he's caring about, getting these dinosaurs and making money and profit out of them. So he's destroyed the Silurians, got them off. Of course, when he was looking around with the dinosaurs, one of them ripped his arm or leg off. I think it's his leg. So he's healing up. He's well wounded from this dinosaur attack, and leading us in with the 11th Doctor with Tutankhamun. I can't say her name. I don't know. Some Egyptian goddess. Don't mess with Egyptian goddesses. That's all I'm gonna say. Tutankhamun, I think. I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have paid more attention at school and in this episode. I'm not sure of her name. I'm going to call her Egyptian goddess. You know who I'm talking about, if you know about dinosaurs and dinosaurs on the spaceship. So we have the 11th Doctor and the goddess, and he said the 11th Doctor saved her or something, and she's indebted to him, and then she goes off trying to make a move on the 11th Doctor. Rose would not be happy about that. She loves the Doctor. What else? So next up we have this guy who's been working around in some of a historic figure, and he's Hunter, really, and he gets jumped on the ship. So the goddess, the guy from, I'm just going to call him Indiana Jones, because he's basically sort of like that in a way. I'm going to call him Indy. So Indy and the goddess, she's sticking up with us, you got it. So yeah, them two are travelling with the 11th Doctor for an adventure, dinosaurs on a spaceship. He also brings Amy and Roy, because he hasn't seen them in ages. Showing that the Doctor's changing, he's going around places, picking up new people, and yeah. Which is brilliant for Big Finish to take that little gaps and do things with it, or Titan Comics to do things with it. So it's brilliant little gaps and stuff they can add in for future reference if they wanted. Yeah, anyway. We have that dynamic, so 11, Rory, but they also bring Rory's dad along, and yeah, basically we have to sort out this whole dinosaurs in a spaceship thing. The dinosaurs, they meet a load of them, they go around the place, running around and doing whatever, leading they're not a threat, and they need to go and save them, really. And then we meet these robots that come in, bing, bong, boom, and they start attacking, well, chasing for the Doctor. Suleiman, the person played by David Bradley, is called Suleiman, and he finds out that the Doctor's called the Doctor. He needs help, he needs healing, medical attention. Also scans the ship. he is after a bounty, money. And who is the most precious thing on the ship? It is, of course, obviously he's on a Salorian ship and it's rolling towards a planet with a military army base, and they will shoot on sight. You know, when you don't get airplane permission to travel across, so they'll shoot you on sight. Basically that with a planet. And they're going to shoot this Salorian spaceship that's floating in space because it's an alien ship heading towards them. They know the Doctor's on it. They've got communication. He's trying to talk them around and stuff. But they're not having it. So they're going to send this missile and blow the ship up. So they have a timer for a certain amount of time for the missile to blow up the Salorian ship. So Suliman needs to get out. He finds out he needs to get the most valuable stuff. He scans the ship, and it is, of course, Tutankhamun, the Egyptian goddess. So he finds her, and he's like, right, I need her. She's precious. The Doctor's healed me a bit now. Let's threaten them a bit. So they attack Rory's dad in some situations. Then they also attack the dinosaur in another situation later on in the episode. So yeah, he doesn't care as long as he gets his bounty. He doesn't care who he hurts. We have dynamic with Rory and the dad, genetic with Salorian's geneticness. This is a Chris Chibnall episode as well, so it's quite nice. I like this story as well. A lot of people don't like this story. I really kind of enjoy it. Yeah, next up we have... Rory and his dad are flying the spaceship, and it's quite a nice little scene to see. We have Amy and the Indiana Jones character shooting some dinosaurs. Well, not killing the dinosaurs, just putting them to sleep a little bit, and so they can wake up later on. So just for a little while, taking them out of action for a little bit. And the 11th Doctor's got to do his little thing. And of course, their missiles are after this little device. They put the device on, and Suliman is in his little escape pod. The Doctor puts that in there. The missiles are after the escape pod now instead of the Salorian ship. Salorian ship travels off. The army don't do anything because the ship's gone away. And Sulian, I can't say his name, David Bradley and the two robots that chased them were on the ship. They thought they had the goddess because they managed to take it from the Doctor. She goes back and fights back and gets with the 11th Doctor again. The Doctor just puts this thing on and missiles blow up. Like, use their weapons against them, really. And I was quite shocked with this. The Doctor actually let the guy die, you know? Which we later see in Town Called Mercy. He has changed a bit, you know? He is doing things. And I suppose this was a little hint towards that. I mean, the Doctor actually let Suliman die. David Bradley get blown up, you know? Which is a bit odd for him to do. I think you'd capture him or something like that. But yeah. I talked about the story long enough. I'm going to say 8 out of 10. About Town Called Mercy. Here comes Time of Mercy. So we're on this episode now. Straight after that, with that Sullivan guy from David Bradley getting killed off, the Doctor doing mistakes. Yeah, again, that brings into play in this episode. So yeah, let's talk about it. So, 11th Doctor, Amy and Rory, they managed to persuade and go off on another adventure. And yeah, basically, they were going to go to Mexico and Day of the Dead Festival. They land on this town called Mercy. And there's a doctor, an alien doctor, that has created this, as you will, sort of creature that is made of war, half alien creature, half robot, and turned into a weapon. And the robot's not exactly happy with that. And he will just come and kill. He's been used as a weapon, and he's basically going to kill the people that created him, turned him into this monster. That's his goal. He's killed almost all of them. You see one of them die at the start of the episode, then there's only one left, the Doctor, leading into a cliffhanger. Obviously it's not the 11th Doctor, it's a different type of Doctor. And we have these town of people trying to see if they, because the 11th Doctor's an alien as well, see if they can throw him to the alien. Obviously the Doctor has nothing to do with that. Leading us into the twist, it wasn't the 11th Doctor, it was this other person that is called the Doctor, and he has basically been helping this town. He feels this is his punishment, to help the town. He's been helping people, he's been putting electricity up 100 years too early or something like that. and obviously the 11th Doctor notices stuff are wrong, time shouldn't be like this. We have this other, the mayor, the sheriff type of person. He's the lovely character. When things go wrong, the 11th Doctor gets angry and he tries to throw the Doctor to the robot. He can't cross this line. He throws the Doctor up past the line for the robot to take him. The sheriff persuades him. He tries to reason with him. Amy tries to reason with the 11th Doctor. Yet again, we've seen that different side to the 11th Doctor. It's quite a nice dynamic. Yeah, pushing the Doctor a little bit into different dynamics. Roy didn't get much to do in this episode. He doesn't really do that. He's just there, and he does his fun little lines, which is nice. We also have when the sheriff gets killed off, he gets shot. So the Doctor's about to die by this creature, and the sheriff jumps in the way and gets shot instead, leading the 11th Doctor. He did this. He caused the sheriff guy to die in some way, so it makes the 11th Doctor think and do things differently. We also get to see a little funny thing with I speak horse, that 11th Doctor little dynamic there of the Doctor speaking all these weird languages, which is quite nice to see, because obviously, why not? He speaks baby, he can speak horse. Yeah, what else have we got here? What else? The robot, we see a little more action with him, some little threats and stuff like that. Then we have, it's enough now. They've had a debate. They're like, hasn't this gone on long enough? And the robot goes, yes, give me to him at this time or I'll kill you all. And that little, like, oh god, right, we haven't got long now. We need to throw him to him because there's no other solution. They can't get out of this town. He's guarding around the town, so they can't get out. They're running out of food supplies. They're running out of water, Their rations are very limited. Which is why they were very skeptical about Amy and Roy and the 11th Doctor coming and adding more mouths to feed, Anyway, Sheriff has died, so now the 11th Doctor's got a Sheriff badge, and he's like, no one touches this Doctor person. He's in a cell. And we see some darkness from this Doctor attacking Amy and trying to escape. Then we get the Sheriff later on locking him back up throughout the episode. So he has got the dark streak in him of trying to survive. And basically because it's an excuse, I think, but his belief is his whoever he does wrong by, he has to carry them up a mountain when he dies. So anyone his machines are killed, anyone he's killed, he has to carry them up a mountain, and all the people he's doing wrong by, it's going to be so much weight on his back. We also have that glimpse of different alien beliefs now. We also have 11th Doctor trying to do these fake mask things from the Doctor's scar or whatever he's got on him, trying to get him out of town so the robot misses him and he won't kill these innocent civilians, really. So the civilians are all dressed up, they're all doing tricks and stuff, and the robot's had enough, so he's coming after them. Obviously he has some heart because he sees this kid and he doesn't kill them because he sees the kid, he gives up. He's having a standoff with 11th Doctor, which is quite fun to see. And then things don't go to plan. The Doctor doesn't get back to his ship. He blows up the ship, he kills himself, but he says a few speeches first, so the robot doesn't do any more damage. So yeah, that's basically sort of standoff, and we see how humans react in different ways. You see the 11th Doctor in different positions. He's travelled alone for different reasons, and yeah, the parallels between this alien Doctor and the 11th Doctor. And yeah, there's so much going on here, and I think it's a very solid story. And I give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Now we're on to the Power of Three, which is actually Amy and Roy's last ever episode them doing when filming wise, but obviously it isn't watching it because Amy Jules take Manhattan, is their last depart. But anyway, let's get into it. So, we have these cubes randomly landing up the time the Doctor stays. So we have the 11th Doctor doing human positions. He's getting bored, he's waiting for these cubes to do something. They've just landed for a whole year of the slow evasion. These cubes landing everywhere. 11th Doctor's like, oh, I can't do this. Why? They'll do something. And then the cubes are just there. So then he goes off doing painting, football, kiki uppies, what else? Anything and everything. Doing stuff to the car. He's done that in an hour. He's done the Hoover, and then he's like, I can't do this. I can't just look at this. Amy and Roy have to deal with that and try and say, fine, leave. We'll deal with the cubes. And there's this little funny scene where the dad, Rory's dad, is in the TARDIS, and the 11th Doctor's like, watch the cubes. And he just sits in the TARDIS like that, watching the cubes, and then the Doctor and Rory and Amy come in, it's been a couple of days, and he's just like, has it? You've been sat there looking at that cube for all these days. Doesn't time go by when you look in your own mind? And 11th Doctor's like, yeah, good for you. And it's a funny little scene. I love Rory's dad. Obviously his dad has been in Harry Potter, he's been in 100 Dalmatians. I've seen him in the film. He's been loads. He's done a load of stuff. Roy's dad, and he's a good actor. He's a funny actor. He's always played these nice, interesting characters. Obviously, he can do some comedic evil as well. So he's a brilliant character, and I would wish we saw more than him than 2 episodes. You know, dinosaurs on a spaceship, Power 3. It would have been nice to see the dad a bit more. Obviously, the dad realises Amy and Roy have been off on adventures. Amy, Roy, and the Zygons in the Victorian era. That was I wish we saw that, you know. I really would have enjoyed that episode. I think that was interesting. Plus, I've always wanted to see King Henry VIII from Doctor Who. I've always wanted to see it. He was my favourite historic character when I was a kid. And yeah, we don't see it, sadly. We just see a little clip of him with 11th Doctor underneath his dress, if you will, leading them to run away and stuff, and Amy was meant to marry King Henry VIII. Little gag, obviously, but I would love to have seen Zygons or King Henry VIII. These episodes we don't get to see with the Doctors, like, but yeah, we see obviously 11th Doctor and Amy and Roy. It's been a while, they've all got their dynamics, they've all got their own things going on, and the dad can see that happening. And obviously at the end of the episode, the dad says, go off with them. Amy and Roy were going to leave the Doctor, and he goes, don't. You've got this wonderful opportunity, go off with them, just bring them home safe. Obviously with Chris Chibnall writing a little sketch, again, it's all in this board, it's not even a sketch, it was in this like cartoon board. He gets a letter from Rory, like in Blink, with Sally Sparrow and her friend writing a letter. Roy does that for his dad, and we learn that Roy had a nice life and stuff with Amy, but like they got trapped in time, and the dad's never going to see Rory again, which is a nice sad scene to see. We see the after effects in this little clip, which isn't part of Series 7, but I thought I'd give it in there because it is what actually happens at the end of the series, but it seems we're talking about Rory's dad. Anyway, so these cubes are finally doing something after a year. They get the Doctor back in action, and one's shooting lasers, one's stabbing them, one's doing all sorts. They're just testing, they're trying to find out what they can do to these humans, because the Shang-Chi, is it? The alien Time Lord's fairy tales when he was a bed, the 11th Doctor said something like that. These famous Shang-Chi, which didn't do anything, they were just holograms like that. 11th Doctor pulled out a Sonic and destroyed the plans. A whole year of this massive thing where these cubes suddenly stopped all these people's hearts and people were dying. 11th Doctor's heart got stopped, and they had to bring it back to life to get the 11th Doctor back on board. And the Doctor just pulls out Sonic and blows up the ship, and the cubes are defeated. That is it. That is the whole story, really. But Unit was nice to see. Kate Stewart finally back, which was lovely. Yeah, Unit. Kate Stewart, the Tower of London. We get to see the Brigadier's grandchild. Not grandchild, is it? Not daughter. I don't think it's his daughter, is it? It may be his daughter. I'm not sure. Anyway, Kate Stewart is related to Brigadier. I'm very sure it's his daughter or grandchild. But anyway, let's get into it. That was a nice dynamic with the 11th Doctor and Kate Stewart there. she tries to drop the Stuart thing because the Brigadier thing anyway, because she didn't want to be like favouritised over anyone. She wanted to work for a position, which was quite nice. Character development, the structure and everything, she's built it up. She had to bring Unit kicking and screaming to science and stuff like that. So yeah, there's not a lot else to go from this story, so I'm gonna have to say a 7 out of 10. Angels take Manhattan now. Yeah, the final of this parter. Join me in a couple of days' time to talk about Clara and the 11th Doctor. But anyway, let's get into it. So, Angels Take Manhattan. So we start off with 11th Doctor reading a book. We later realise the book is River and her diaries of what is happening in the past, which Rory goes to get some coffee, because he's not going to stay around with Amy having a go at him for the eyes thing that, you know, when she was reading in her book, she had some lines in her eyes or whatever. It was just nice to see them all enjoying themselves, really. Even though it's the last time Amy, Rory and the Doctor. The last 3 duo. Anyway, Rory goes to get some coffee for them all and gets zapped by a weeping angel. He didn't even notice, and he's in the past now. And of course, Rory meets River Song, and River Song gets arrested, so Rory gets arrested with her, leading into this person who collects weeping angels, and he's got one captured up. It's screaming, sending more weeping angels on the way. Rory gets taken down under to this bottom floor, and these cherubs, little weeping angels, baby weeping angels, touch Rory, get zapped back in time. Yet again, zapped even further. 11th Doctor gets the TARDIS. He's struggling to get into New York. There's so many time distortions and stuff like that. So he breaks in and finally manages to land the TARDIS there. If he ever lands the TARDIS again there, time and space will blow up. Hence why we have to say goodbye to Amy and Roy, even though just park the TARDIS a couple of miles back, you know, go to a different place and then go to New York, pick them up and go again, you know. But anyway, that is not a solution Moffat thought of, I don't think. So it counts as Amy and Roy's goodbye anyway. So let's carry on. So we obviously have Amy and Roy's goodbye. We see a glimpse of that in the story early on when the 11th Doctor sees a page turner and he looks at these handy little hints of basically chapters. These chapters that River gives handy hints to, it's 11th Doctor sees and he gets angry and starts getting furious, and River's hand is trapped into this thing where the weeping angel will touch her, so she has to get a hand out. She breaks her own hand to get it out. Of course, Amy read in the book that she'd break something, so she has to break something. Time is a fixed point in time once you see your own future and read something like that. So yeah, she breaks her hand. She doesn't want to prove to the Doctor. The Doctor finds out, heals her hand. She's angry, slaps him. That dynamic of River, yet again, not wanting to look weak or old, you know. She's in love with a god, like the 11th Doctor. She wants to look fresh and young for him, and not because he doesn't like goodbyes. She doesn't want to make him think this is near the end, you know. Anyway, we have another dynamic now with them all on the hunt for Rory. They manage to get to this hotel where the weeping angels are taking people and absorbing and making a factory, a battery factory of them just absorbing people they touch constantly in this hotel, feeding off them like a farm battery. Yeah, they try and get Rory out. We witness Rory's death as an old man. Rory didn't see Amy in years. By the shock on the old man's face, says goodbye to Amy and stuff like that, and he dies. The 11th Doctor reveals that was Rory, and he didn't even see Amy for years by the looks on his face. Obviously time changes and they both are together, growing old, but we don't know that yet. So they're all trying to get weeping angels attacking them, nice little scenes there. Then we have a little bit of far-fetched thing with the person who holds the lights. What's her name? She's a very famous person. your comment section are going to go ballistic at me for not knowing this. The person with the statue in New York, I do know the name, I've heard of it before. But anyway, you know what I mean. The big statue that is quite famous in New York. Yeah, she is basically turned into a weeping angel, which is a bit far-fetched for my liking. Amy and Rory, they think they're going to survive, they do it together. Rory's going to jump off, but he needs some help. Amy was never going to help him kill himself, so she was going to go with him. Together or not at all. 11 Doctor just catch them just in time and they jump off. And if they fell, and the weeping angel never caught him and touched him, then what did they jump off? What did they die from? Because, like, if they jumped from something, how would they have... sorry, these adverts are distracting me. Basically, they jumped off, and whatever they jumped off wasn't there because they didn't get touched by a weeping angel, sort of thing. That scenario where, what if they jump, what did they jump off if they never were there, basically. Timey-wimey stuff, if I didn't explain it better enough than that. What else? So, Amy and Roy survive, we're on a graveyard somehow, yay, woohoo. Let's get them off together. TARDIS needs some time to patch itself up again, so they're all going to go off to the pub. Roy's like, hey Amy, there's a statue that has the same name as me, this gravestone. Weeping Angel, bam! And that's the last time we see Rory. And then Amy's crying, going, Doctor, and then she reveals she has to find the Doctor. The Doctor can't land his TARDIS in New York ever again. It will blow the universe apart. So Amy decides to go with him. She says her goodbye to River. She says her goodbye to 11th Doctor. 11th Doctor's crying and refusing. Goodbye, Raggedy Man. And she's gone. Amy's gone. That sad story that 11th Doctor's never going to see her again. Which is sad. Then we have, of course, basically, the Weeping Angels absorbing off Amy and Roy yet again, making the farm battery come back to life and then just feeding off. 11th Doctor is left on his own again. River's saying goodbye to the 11th Doctor but saying she's always here for him and stuff like that. 11th Doctor wants him to travel with her, but she won't because there's only one side off per TARDIS. Yeah, that's basically it to this. The run around of Weeping Angels and Amy and Rory. Yeah. I'm going to give this Angels Take Manhattan a 7 out of 10. It's not the best story of the series because there's a lot of, obviously you could park TARDIS and pick them up again. This ending doesn't need to happen, but in ways they are leaving the show and this is the best they could do it, so yeah. I mean, with an alien that can absorb and feed off you, it doesn't kill you. Well, it has killed some people, but it didn't kill them. With an alien that can't really kill you, it absorbs off you, you're never going to really get a proper cliffhanger ending, you know? You're never going to get, oh, they died. They are still out there. You just need to get them. You've got a TARDIS, but yeah. Anyway, we're moving on now with Clara. Join me in 3 days' time for when... 3 or 4 days' time, you know, I will release this video for part 2 with Clara and 11. I'll give my opinions on them and rank them out of 10 as always and talk a bit about what happened in the episode. But yeah, you've been watching Go.2. Comment, rate, subscribe and get that little bell to see more videos if this has interested you in any way. Sorry if the video is so long, but there's a lot to get through. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to little scenes that I found interesting and wanted to say about. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. You've been watching Go.2. See you soon.